you all for popping in. Those that are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. Those that are returning, thank you so much for coming back. And I want to introduce my two special guests, Nekoveli. Thank you for joining. And my firstborn, JoJo Daniel. I thought it would be cool to have people of three different age groups, representing our discussion on all things dating, single, and relationships. So
I appreciate it. How are you? Thank
I
you for
am
allowing
well.
me to be on your platform.
I appreciate you taking the time out because I know different time zones and everything. It's a little
Right.
late on your side. So,
Oh yeah, it's 10 o'clock here.
yeah. So, thank you so much for
Oh, no
stepping in and
problem.
joining. So, I wanted to discuss all things dating, single, and relationships. At first, I wanted to do advice, but
Hmm.
then I was like, mm, I don't know. I wanted to kind of hit, kind of everything on there.
Right.
Oops, get this camera together. Uh, okay. Sorry, everybody, but I'm using this website and the camera's flipped, so it's got me all messed up trying to get it
Got you
together.
disoriented.
And there we go. All right. So I don't know if I kind of want to touch on the subject
Well,
that
we
you
already got it going. You got to start it there.
Yeah, I'm waiting on
yeah.
her to ask. I'm waiting on you to come with it so we can talk. We can talk
Don't be
about it.
shy.
Well,
What's
no, no, no.
first?
I'm thinking about touching on the subject you had going on Saturday.
Oh Lord Jesus!
The big uproar.
Basically, women feeling entitled
Yeah.
to just have a good dude. We can talk about that. What you? All right, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
So
and that's one thing, I hate being in the dating world. A lot of people now assume that I'm going to be that way, or
right,
other women are going to be that way, feel that they're entitled. So knowing that for the longest, I've been the type, I meet somebody, okay, I'll,
uh
put it
huh,
out there. Okay, let's go for a coffee date because now I feel like I have to kind of, you know, do so much to prove that I'm not that shallow chick. I'm not somebody,
right,
gold digger. I don't have my hands in their pockets. Like I have my own money.
right.
I have my own things. So it's hard for women now to have to, prove that they're not that way.
That's true. And like what on my thing, whatever. What I was trying to tell her, like, okay, you want all this money from a man, you want him to look a certain way, you want him to provide all this. The first thing you should be doing, I know this may seem shallow, but it's the truth. The first thing you need to be doing is making sure you look good. That's the I mean, it's that simple because that's what starts the whole communication process. You don't go up to nobody you don't think is attractive and try to talk to them. It just doesn't happen. So that's what I was trying to
Right.
talk to her about. You know what I mean? Like if that's what you're
Right.
trying to attract, you need to, get your physical appearance together first. But like you said, you gotta almost convince guys that you're not shallow because they done seen it so many times. And
Hmm.
that's the problem out here. Like you gotta you almost gotta sell yourself now.
Right. And just so, let me turn my chat on. And just so everybody knows, he's not saying about, making sure you're looking good on the shallow side because I saw who he
No,
was
no.
talking to
Yeah.
Saturday. Now,
We might have to post a clip of her in here so they can
right,
understand.
right,
Like seriously, I'll send it to you.
right, because yeah, she was very unhealthy. Now me, I've talked on over the years on other platforms about my weight changes. I've gone up to 200 pounds, and I was
Oh,
not.
me as well. I was
Yeah,
a real big dude
yeah,
at one
and
point.
and it's not always about actual looks, but it's about being healthy, because I don't want to get with somebody who's cutting their life short because they got to have a cheeseburger and a donut and a
Exactly.
milkshake and, 5 times a day. I
Right.
want to know that the person I'm going to be with is doing their best to have a healthy, long life to the best of their
Right.
ability.
Because when they're going out and about, they represent a part of you. It's really that simple.
Exactly.
You know. What
Exactly.
you what you got on that, JoJo?
I
What do you
mean,
think?
I agree. Like to an extent, you should be taking good care of yourself. Yeah, you should look good in a certain way. If you're going on a date, you should look proper for it. But you don't need to be this, you know, over the top, over showing, gotta show, be the most handsome thing on the planet, kind of thing.
Right.
Just to get that attention. I feel like that's what. Uh,
Well, I also think it's what you're going for. You
yeah,
know
and
what I mean?
it's also
Like
what you're going for.
when
If
you
I
going
go
for
out,
a certain type of man, he wants that trophy wife or that trophy look. You know what I mean? And that's
right,
just a fact. It's about
right,
what you're going for as well. Like men, we're judged by our wallets most of the time. I'm not saying everybody, because there's a lot of good females who don't look at that. Men judged by their wallets, females are judged by their looks. A prime example is when a woman sees an ugly dude with a real pretty chick, what she say? He must got some money.
That's
You know,
true. That's
it's
true.
that way. Some stuff is that way. It shouldn't be, but it is what it is. And I think people got to find a way to win within a system that's already here in stone.
right.
You know,
Right. Right. Um, so let's see. Another thing I wanted to touch on is honesty. There's a lot of just dishonesty going on in dating, people misrepresenting themselves. I've been in situations where people have told me things like, oh, in my past, I had issues with alcohol. And
and then they still had it.
on the date, it's like, nah, bro, this is, yeah, this is current,
Right.
And, you know, it's just, I feel like if a person can't be upfront and honest about certain things, I feel that is disrespectful. And how are you so blind to think that I'm not going to find out?
I like
The
that.
truth is not going to come out. Like,
Right.
do you think that little of me? I mean, even if we've just met, if you think that little of me, then why were you even interested in me?
But the good thing is that he did say it. He did do that at the date, so you knew right then and there, like, oh, this ain't the one.
Right, right.
But the issue is when people do that for so long,
Yeah.
and you find out after you in love with them, or you then start building with them, and then you find out this stuff. That's where the real problem comes in at.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Yeah,
I think that's.
lying. I'm sorry. I
I
didn't
know
mean to
you
cut you off.
good.
But
I know. No,
I look for those little things. Like I look for them like hard, especially in the beginning, so I don't go so deep with that person. But go ahead. My bad, man.
yeah, no, you're good. I think that's just another problem with people is that they have problems addressing things with themselves, and
True.
that's the thing. You can't go on and try to move on without your problems without
Mm,
addressing it first. If you address it first, then you can actually cope with it and move on. Whereas if you just try to push to the side, it's just going to keep coming back. And that's a
facts.
problem with a lot of people. They don't address anything going on with them. And
Mhm.
I feel like
Right.
that's a fact that outside, just a little outside of dating. That's a fact with a lot of issues that we have today.
I like that.
Yeah. That's true.
I
That's
I,
true.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, because that's true. If you're lying to yourself,
How
of
you
course
gonna be
you'll be
truthful
lying
with
to
somebody
everybody else.
else?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like that.
Exactly. And that's one thing, that always that's why self-love is something that always kind of hits my heart. It's always something that I want to talk about, because self-love, it just, I mean, it affects every part, every side of your life. If you love yourself, you can love others. If you can be
Man,
honest with yourself, you can be honest with others.
when I was a kid, my dad used to always tell me that, right? He used to say, your mama tell you she love y'all more than anything. He said, I'm not gonna tell you that because I love myself more than anything. And then from me loving myself, I know how to love y'all.
Exactly.
And as a kid, I'm like, oh man, he messed up. But when I got older, I understood what he was saying. Like, wow, okay, I get it. You know, like you could save yourself so much heartache just from loving yourself.
Right.
You won't put up with so much bull crap. You will try to strive to be successful more. I mean, you will even eat healthier because of self-love. You want to, that I love self-love. That's a fact.
It's funny because I've had instances, because I love myself more than anything. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that they love me more than me, or hate me more than me. But I've stated before, because I've had women women and other people that I didn't ask for try to tell me how I look. They try to tell me that I look old for my age, or that I don't look right, or I look too young, and all this. And I'm like, okay, that ain't a problem for me. It's a problem for you.
Because you know who you are.
Because I know who I am. And some of them will just try to tell me that I'm just some person with a fantasy here trying to get in love. And I'm like, I look at them, I'm like, listen, it ain't as much as a fantasy for me as it is for you. Because if you had a problem talking to me, then why are you here trying to date people in general?
Right.
I ain't tripping. So I mean, that's you. But I mean, hey, do you? I'm gonna go ahead and move on. I ain't gonna trip out somebody, because it's what time I got for that. All I know is that you just wasted 15 minutes of my time talking to me.
I feel that.
That's my boy.
Yeah, he got a lot of your ways, I can tell.
Yes. We are fire signs, so
yeah. What, Leos?
I'm a Leo and he's Sag.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm a Scorpio, so I'm like the opposite. Y'all, I'm a water sign.
Yeah. Yeah. But and that let's see. Another thing I wanted to touch on was communication. Communication. I hate when people say, "Oh, communication is key. Communication is solid," but then they don't know how to communicate. That is that's annoying.
I think communication is very important. Because especially, like, I'm not trying to throw women under the bus, especially with women, because sometimes women get mad and you don't even know they mad. Like, you got to tell me. Like, we got to talk about it. Like let me know you mad. I can't read your mind. Like,
I don't even like when you say that. They don't even like when you say that.
Then you say that, they get even madder. like for real. So I don't even know. I mean, you got something on it, JoJo? Maybe you can help me on this one.
It's rocket science to me, so I'm trying to figure that
out. we asked you.
I'm only 24. I'm still trying to figure out what world I live in. So,
but no, it's. Go ahead.
I'm waiting on you. I want to hear your input on it.
No, it's true, and that's something I had to learn, as I got older, and that's one thing that people really need to learn to do. At the end of a relationship, turn around, pull yourself back, and look at everything, dissect everything, not just what the other person has done, but what you have done, and you have to list all of your wrongs and really look at them, really study them, really go through it and see where it is you need to change. And once I was able to do that, I was able to be a better person in relationships. I'm able to pull myself back and say, okay, you know what? I need to work on, being controlling. I need to work on jealous ways. I need to work on being able to sit down and say, you know what, babe? I don't like how this happened today. How can we compromise, or how can we fix it? And that's another thing. That's another reason why a lot of people go to therapy, because they don't know how to communicate. They say they want to communicate, and a lot of times
they don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, but don't know how.
Yeah. So yeah.
And within communication, we got to leave the attitudes out the door and approach it like a business meeting.
You know what? That's a good point to make, because You're right. Usually when you do try to communicate, especially with somebody you're in a relationship with, it goes haywire.
Right,
And then
right.
the low blows start, and it just,
Mm,
that lingers in the air, and it just get worse and worse. But you're right. Like handle it like a business meeting. Like
right.
let's do a little give and take here.
Exactly. Hi,
You know.
Erica. Thank you for that. Yeah, and that's when you really love and respect somebody, it shouldn't be so hard to do that either. If you need
Right.
to go ahead and take a walk around the block, take your little walk around the block, and then come back when you're calm and say, okay, if you got to get a item off the table and say, okay, whoever has this in their hand, you can speak then, so you're not talking over each other or arguing or anything like that.
What
Exactly.
made me oh, I'm sorry. What made me do a little better with those type of talks with somebody I'm with is
Hmm.
when I realized, like, okay, you'll go to work and sometimes you'll bite your tongue for your boss or something
Yeah.
like that. Why you can't do that at home with somebody you love? You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Like
Exactly.
that's one thing that helped me with that. Like, dang, I'm at work, I know I need my job, so sometimes I want to snap on them, but I'm just like, I need my job, so I
Hmm.
can't do that at home with somebody I love. So I
Exactly.
think that's a way people can look at it. Like we respect other things and other people that we have to. You should do the
Mhm.
same thing for somebody you love.
Yeah, I agree because I used to be very like timid with people, and I
Uh
was
huh.
always taught like don't just argue back, and ain't gonna get you nowhere or
Right.
anything. But there are some times where I'm like I'm uncomfortable, or I'm not happy about a situation. I gotta address it, and the
Right.
moment I address it, then they want to snap and get all angry, and it's like hold up. I just wanted to bring it up because clearly it's a problem for me.
Right.
How how can it not be a problem for you, but be a problem for me?
For me.
It's got to work both ways.
Hmm.
And if they don't want to address it that way, then all right, sayonara.
Right. Adios.
Ain't no point for me to stay unhappy. You
Right.
know, because I'm not just for my happiness, I'm for everybody's happiness,
Uh,
as it should be in return for everybody else.
Hmm.
right.
But let's say if I have a wife and kids, it shouldn't just be me happy, the wife happy, or the kids happy. It should be everybody
Everybody.
Yeah.
happy.
Right. And
So
like,
you know,
I want to address Erica's comment. She said, it definitely comes with unlearning the way we were taught to be. And that's on a lot of levels. Because if you grew up in a household with people arguing and fighting, that you're basically
Hmm.
taught to argue and fight. If you're not, taught to communicate, if you're not taught something, you're kind of taught the opposite of it, you know. So yeah, sometimes we have to learn, and it's never too late to learn. You're never too old to learn. And partners,
And like she
yes,
said,
that's true.
you gotta unlearn some stuff too.
Hmm. Yeah, and then that's right. The other your partner cannot be shut down because that is not working on anything. That's not communicating. You have
mhm.
to both come to the table. If you love the other person, it's your responsibility and your job to do your part and participate in communicating. Participate in making sure the family is healthy. Making sure the kids see their parents in a loving environment. Making sure they see mom and dad talking.
And that way, it passed down to them, and they shouldn't have to go through the same struggles we did. You know.
Right. Because even like me growing up, like my mom and dad, they
Uh,
broke up when I was yeah, when my mom was still pregnant with me. So I never had them together. But when my mom had gotten remarried, when my dad came over to pick me up, I'm sitting there like, can we leave? Because they're sitting at the table, they're talking, they're laughing, they're having a good time. To this
right.
day, when my dad doesn't live in the country, but when my dad comes to visit, my stepdad's like, your father's coming. When's he gonna be here? I'll grill for him.
Right.
Tell him to come on over. They love hanging out. So when I was with Jordan's father, he had other kids. So I kind
Hmm.
of knew that already. And they were the same way. When we went to go see
Okay.
the kids, we all sat down, we played cards, we drank, we laughed, we had a good time. And his
Right.
dad had gotten back together with her. So then when Jordan was older and would go to visit, me and her, hey,
Uh-huh.
what's up? To this
So
day,
y'all was still, yeah, that's
yeah,
good. That's see, kids need to see that type of stuff too.
Yeah, and
Like
see,
how to be.
I call her my second mom. So
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
like,
that's what's up.
She'll hit me up and be like, "Where's my son?" And I'm like, "Oh, girl, he's over here." And she'll hit me up and just say, "Hey, sis,
That's
just want to tell you
cool.
I love you." So
That's so cool.
I'll be at a one of my cousin's weddings, and she'll be there, and she'll be like, "All right, son, it's your turn next." Waiting for me to get going on that.
Wow,
So,
that's
it's
cool.
Yeah.
And it brought a smile on your face. You got two moms, two good moms. Seem like so you can't beat that.
Yeah, but I love that. Like, unfortunately, I don't have that with both my kids' situations, but when things can be that way, and I just think that that's a beautiful thing that you can pass on to your kids. So when they get older, they're like, "Oh no, we don't have to have all this arguing and fighting, and people not liking the other, talking mess about behind each other's back. Just we family,
Handle it like an adult.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Even in like dating situations, when people have kids, I'll ask them, "Hey, before you bring a child around me, does the mom want to meet me?" Because that's how I was.
Right.
If somebody was going to be around, my son, I would like to meet them, and not on any kind of crazy, "Oh, you better be nice to my kid." I just want to see the person
just
around
being
my
cordial,
child.
see what type of person you is, conversate with you, get a feel for you at least, because you are around my seed. Like that's very important.
Exactly.
Y'all know I'm a little stuffy. I'm sorry for sniffling.
You're all right.
Yeah. Oh man, I messed up a little bit over here. I know you like, dang, he's sniffling and everything.
Last week, I know I was dabbing my eye the whole video. I was crazy
Yeah,
out.
they be kicking my butt.
So I don't know, Joe, is there anything you wanted to add on dating, relationship?
If you in person, don't completely freak out if a man approaches you. Is one thing, please, because it's getting to this point nowadays when you can try to approach a woman as a man, and where because of media and all the things that's been going on with men approaching women, sexual harassment and all this, it's getting to the point to where it's like now women completely believe that, and every man out there is supposed to be like some kind of sexual predator. See, like me, being 24 years old and in California, if I go down to Victoria Gardens or some kind of shopping center and I try to approach a woman and try to talk to them, I'm a creep. That's not fair.
You know what? I feel what you said, because nowadays, like, say if you've seen somebody out at a shop that you like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you say if you sent her some flowers, like back in the day,
right?
Just randomly, oh, they gonna think you crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, why is he watching me? Why is he sending me flowers? It's like, well, obviously, obviously, it's because you're attractive and I want to talk. But me saying that just sounds like, oh, I want to get into bed with you. That's and that's not fair for me. But at the same time, men, stop being so damn creepy. All right, because there are some men out there that ruin it for the rest of us. Okay, I same situation. I'm walking down Victoria Gardens, and I see this man with his little boy. He looked like he was like 3 or 4. Walk up to a girl at one of the little street booths, and he just, damn girl, you thicker than a Snicker with the sun, right there. I know the boy barely understand English, but I'm like, really, man? I'm like, you are the problem right there. So, guys, stop being creepy. Women, stop being so scary. Because not all of us are like that. I'm pretty sure, actually, 80% of men have a problem with approaching women in the first place.
I think women are like that. They're more aggressive, especially when I be out. I don't know. They be saying some things to me sometimes. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and I agree with that. But it's like, to be fair too, it's like, when do you usually see a man approach a woman in public? You'll see it. It's there.
People like use the internet now.
Maybe like if you go to a bar, yeah, that's where you're gonna see most likely guys approaching women, but I'm talking you walking down in the mall or
Just
you walk
a regular place, a regular setting.
regular place. Where are you gonna see a man do that?
They act like you done did something to them when you talk to
Mhm.
them.
So it's like, where are you gonna see a man do that in those kind of places? Never. You will see it at a more sociable place, yes, but not no shopping center like that or
Right.
movie theater. You know,
Yeah, and a lot of times too, I think women are just a little too. They can be too self-centered and too into themselves. You
Not
know,
approachable.
yeah, big time. And I think that's kind of disgusting. Because sometimes somebody could say, "Excuse me," and and they're
You
just like,
know,
I just needed help
and
with directions.
you know what's so crazy? And sometimes that set them up for the biggest failure because I remember being younger, I didn't have no cheese, but I look like it.
Hmm.
So they give me all the play in the world just because of a look when it's really a nice dude right here, you
Mhm.
know? And you don't even look at him just because he
Yeah,
ain't looking like he got it. It's crazy how it works.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I always try and, especially hearing things, my son says, that he goes through out in the dating world. I try and really, kind of check myself. Last time I was out with my girlfriend, we're out, at the club, sitting there chilling. And I see this guy walked
Mhm.
in, and I was like, oh, that's just the type of guy that walks up to me and I don't want to be bothered with. And I turned around and there it was. It's like, oh. But I was cool. I was just, hi, how are you? And he said,
Uh-huh.
can I take you out some time? I said, you know what, I can't. I'm sorry. And I felt so
Right.
bad because he had just walked into the club. I saw him walk in. After I shut him down, he turned around and left. He went home.
And see, then that's what you know. You knew what he was after.
Right. And I was polite. I tried to be polite, because there was no reason. He wasn't disrespectful in any way. He shook both our hands, complimented us both and asked if I would mind going out. But I just didn't want to.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. But
But
after hearing you talk, JoJo, I want to talk to you like one on one.
I'll be down.
I'm like Hitch out here.
I got, I got so many topics to talk about. 'Cause I got see a little bit outside of dating. I'm not like your general leftist or rightist or leftist person. I'm a
But
very
which one do you lean to? Which one do you lean to the most?
I probably lean a little more to the right because
I'm right. I lean more to the right
I
as
lean
well.
more to the right for a reason, and there's a lot of reason, and it's reasons that people tend to ignore too and overshine. So that's kind of where I'm at, but I'm not fully right nor am I fully left.
I
You know,
got you.
I'm a libertarian at heart, if that makes sense.
Right, right. I got what you're
You
saying.
know, so that's just me because I'm like whatever issue there is, people don't look deep enough into it and don't look at both sides of the factor of that situation,
Right,
and
right.
that's the problem. It's always one side over the other, and so you guys have to address both things because there's
I
counterparts to
feel you.
both sides. So that's just what it is for me in every situation.
Okay.
Let's see. Hold on. I think I have. Let me see. So I have someone chiming in. Jordan, I'm sure you'll know who this is.
Mhm.
I can't even get it. Someone has something to say
What is
uh,
it?
and says that they're not even from this generation where she's looking for anybody to take care of her. She's always been a baller in her relationships.
That's what somebody wrote you. They wrote you that.
Yes, that's my text message. JoJo, who's that?
I,
Well, you could.
I
Huh?
can't
Oh,
I can't tell.
oh,
Who's
wow. That's
always been a
somebody.
baller in their
Oh,
relationships?
But what?
Who's always been a baller in their relationships? Texting me.
JoJo, what's going on, man?
Shit, I don't know. I don't pay attention.
My mama.
He-
You're Nani, my mama.
Oh, I just know Nani balls in general. Not even.
Right.
Like, come on. If you would have just said that, I would have definitely gotten it. I call her the queen because she the one that got the business, the money, and then too, kind of raised us off of that herself. So when I see
That's what's
that,
up.
I gotta respect her for it, even if there are things I disagree with her on. I can't, I
Right.
sometimes it's kind of like what Chris Tucker said as a joke. Jay-Z got shut the f up money, but Beyonce got shut the f up. No, you shut the f up money, and
Right.
that's kind of how I see my grandmother. So if I try to talk to her, you shut the. I can't argue with her. So I see her as legit. Simple as that.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
When I first talked to your mom, we hit it off right away. She's good people. Good people. So y'all,
yeah.
everybody who watch this, make sure y'all share it out to somebody for her and run it up for her.
Absolutely.
Like for
Abs-
real.
Absolutely. And then I'm definitely going to put Nekoveli's Instagram info
Yeah.
on here. And you have your YouTube channel
Yeah. My
together.
YouTube. My
Okay.
YouTube as well.
Yeah, I'll
It's the
share that.
same name.
Yes, he has great contact on or content contact on Saturday nights 10.
Yep.
It's 10
PM.
Cali. Or wait.
10 p.m. 10 p.m. EST. Eastern
Okay.
Standard Time.
So 7 in Cali.
And I'm kind
And
of nervous about my upcoming show, guys.
yeah, oh yeah, he's gonna get some fire.
Oh. Whew.
He's gonna get fire from the show. He was attacked by a
All,
creature
all I
who
would say is get ready to unload. Get ready to unload because they don't know what they're ready for. You gotta hit
Oh
people.
man.
They don't know what
right.
they're ready for because
They don't.
it's true. Ain't nobody can handle the truth nor want to hear it.
They don't want to
Right?
hear it, but I'm on it. I'm on
So
their ass.
you gotta be because the
Yeah.
moment you
Mhm.
start to choke up, then that's when you know you already
That's when
won.
they feel like you weak and it's over. You got it.
And
You gotta control your platform because
you gotta control it. Because
yeah,
people really be telling me what how things need to be, and I'm like, see, nah,
nah,
nah.
right,
Because I'm like, that's just your perspective and how you want things to be, not how things should be.
Mhm.
right.
Right.
If it's how things should be, I should have my way too. No,
Mm,
Right. Compromise. Should always be
that's a good point.
compromised. But
because
that's how I am, and that's how I raised you and your brother to be. Always be true to yourself, and being true to yourself doesn't mean that you can't compromise. It doesn't mean that you can't, give a little, because when you're giving, you're also going to be taken if the person is on the same page.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I agree with that. But see, I'm also what makes me a little different is I'm the type of person to argue, not just to be right, but just to get you to think.
Right.
Because I'm not trying to get into your head and just mess with you. I'm trying to let you know. You can share your opinion, but at least think about that opinion before you share it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Don't just go talking about what you want to say or how you personally feel about something because you either
right,
like it or don't like it. Make sure it makes sense. Make sure it has context so that other people can understand you better. So you can avoid complications, and then two, you get to have a chance to understand that person.
right.
That's just context on anything, dating, politics, whatever. And that's what people lack. Everybody's so opinionated, and that's a problem for
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Mm,
Yeah, and that's true, because sometimes if you challenge somebody to really think about their opinion or something they say, and they really go and dissect it and really, dig deep into it, they realize like, oh, wow, I've been misled, or, I kind
right.
of jumped on somebody's coattails instead of thinking for myself.
Because
So,
I've had, and kind of going a little off topic. I've had,
Yeah.
a couple of people try to tell me about, gay people and how they spread AIDS, and I had to literally ask him. I was like, bro, why do you think that is? Why do you think that's a thing? And they would tell me, oh, because it's another guy sleeping with another guy. I'm like, well, if you think about it, if it was vice versa, a man sleeping with a woman that same way, how did they not get AIDS?
Mm,
Ask them those kind of
yeah.
questions, and then they start to think like, Well, it's a guy. I'm like, no. Think about it. It's the same thing. you, you're just
Yeah.
going off of what you was taught about something. You got to think
Yep.
out of the box. You can't go by what you were taught about something. So
Yeah.
You got to go do your research.
you got to do
Yeah.
your research, and then two, I'm just in defense of everybody. You
Mhm.
know, so that just is me.
Yeah. But I think a lot of issues that people have with dating, with relationship, marriage, it all kind of comes full circle into self-love, because if you treat yourself with the utmost love and respect, you'll treat others with the utmost love and respect. And a point that Erica had made about unlearning, that's on so many different, you know, there's so many things that we have to unlearn as people, things that we were taught. And if
Mhm.
you go back and you ask your parents, your grandparents, and if you're able to ask your great grandparents, like, why was I taught this, or why did you live your life this way?
And
And they'll,
sometimes they don't even know.
yeah, I don't know, that's just what I was taught, or that's just what I
Hmm.
saw. We have to break a lot of that generational curses,
Yep.
a lot of that just generational stuff that trickle down. I mean, Jordan's come to me on different things that I did in my parenting that he didn't like, and I'm like, that's what I saw, so it just trickled down.
Right.
And some things I just had to stop doing, or start, checking myself, and started making changes to.
Right.
I wouldn't even call it generational curse, just post traumatic slave syndrome for us, at least. I mean,
That's
as
that's
ridiculous
true.
as ridiculous as it sounds, you have to really think about it. After slavery, what happened? Did we get the treatment that we were supposed to? Did we
Not
get
at
any
all.
kind of psychological? So
Still
where
not.
did we let that?
And
Where
we
did we let
and we
that?
started treating each other like that. We even
Hmm.
Yeah.
started treating our kids like that. We took
Yeah.
what
So
they did to us and put it on our kids. That's why we whoop them, do all types of stuff.
where did they
You know?
have the frustration to put that on?
Right.
Of course, they're children because they had nowhere else to put it. And then
JoJo, you you
their
getting
kids.
off into a whole nother world right here, brother.
That's fine.
We might have to do another one, man. You gotta start a
Right.
channel, dude.
I
Yeah.
mean, I spent years on this kind of stuff. I wish I took notes, but I just kept it mental. I
Right.
should have written it down, maybe write a book on it. But it is
Screenplays or something.
it is what it is. People just need to learn how to start looking into where it is they come from, what it is they've been doing, and accepting it. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter what it is. You could be, you know, anything that is what's considered a taboo in society.
Hmm.
But as long as you address it, then it becomes a norm. And that's what people don't understand is they don't know how to address the things that is taboo in society to themselves as a norm.
Right. I feel
And I
that.
think that's what people need to understand. But people are set on believing on what it is they want to believe in instead of, which is completely fine. I'm not going to tell nobody how to think on something or how to feel specifically on something. But as long as you address it with yourself, do know that you can live comfortably. And that's where my concern is. Can you live
Right.
comfortably like that? That's it.
Nani says that's why we love ourselves, because we had a great example. And didn't she always look good while she was balling?
That's why I gotta get on her game and start looking good when I ball. So
Right.
that's why I'm like I say whenever I try to be productive in anything I do, I gotta remember I'm like, hold up, my grandmother did this on herself in the 70s, and no matter how rough, 70s, 80s. I mean, she was getting by in the 70s, but 80s, whatever. I can do the same no matter what happens in no matter how things change.
Right.
Because no matter how things change in terms of wages or economy whatsoever, because I can tell you, even then the economy was different then, but it doesn't mean it was easier then.
Mm-hmm.
you know as the economy changes, the problems don't. So it's going to be the same thing for me. So whatever she did back then, I can do today. There's no
Right.
Right.
excuse for me. There's no excuse for me to not be able to. And it's funny
Exactly.
because I keep hearing stuff like that with different people in terms of like dating or just trying to make a living. This economy is messing up with my ability to do this and that or date and stuff. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
ain't nothing really changed. It's just, it looks like we're getting paid more. That's it. Ain't nothing really changed. So don't let that get to your head.
Facts.
But one other thing I'd like to address, back on the dating sites or dating in general, is
Mm-hmm.
okay, if you guys are dating online, don't be worried about that either. Okay, because I've actually did an experiment with my friends where we catfish. We end up being a pretty woman with a little simple. It,
Mm-hmm.
it was like our experiment. Why are
I'm
you
gonna
looking?
beat all you guys up.
For
Go
what?
ahead, tell your story.
But
Catfishing.
well, we catfished to do this experiment, and we deleted the account afterwards. But we wanted to see what it was like, or to test, because when we were, for what? I'm trying to. She's
Oh, tell
tripping.
your story.
She's tripping. But yeah, like, I'm trying to do a positive thing here. But we set up a picture, we put up a bio, nothing explicit or anything, just like a regular woman.
Right.
And we sat down the phone, and we just kind of waited. We want to see what happens. Not even 5 minutes, we were getting blown up by different kinds of guys. You had some that were respectful, but I'm gonna say 90% of the guys on there didn't even say hello. They just sent an explicit picture, and we were looking like, wow, now we get it. Now we
Mhm.
get why it's so hard
Right.
to talk to a girl if you're on a social media site,
Yeah.
Right.
because you got so many guys that just think of women in a way where it is focused on sex, and that's not right. So, because like I when I used to do it, I don't do it anymore. But when I had been on dating sites, I shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have to look at a woman's bio and it says not trying to hook up or anything like that. It shouldn't even be on
Right.
there. I
Right.
shouldn't have to look at that. Just the fact that someone has to actually put on their bio, not looking for sex, or same thing for a guy trying to address himself that he's a gentleman. Hey, I'm a gentleman. I'm not looking for sex. I'm just looking to date a woman. The fact that both types of people have to do that is unacceptable, and both guys and women need to grow up on that, because
Mm-hmm.
I've even been addressed randomly, for that kind of thing. And then, also I've been, asked, for paid sex on that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm here for. You shouldn't, just because I look good doesn't mean I'm going to, sell myself short for that. That's not
Right.
what
Right.
so
Yeah.
I think that's a big problem in terms of online dating,
It
you know.
is. It is. I have so many stories because Jordan. Your mama. I fly off. I know I've been reported so many times for cussing somebody out so bad for approaching me that way. I've done the online dating, back and forth. And one time I thought it was so cute. I screenshotted it and everything. But this guy came to me and he said, because I had put on my thing, I don't need to hear that I'm pretty. I don't need to hear all this and that. Just
Mm-hmm.
have a normal conversation. And this guy says, you know what? I need to ask you why women are saying this. And I said, because we, of course, are going to be on guard because we're getting all
Mm-hmm.
kind of garbage and trash in our body. Obviously, it's unsaid thing that if you're approaching me, you find me attractive. So let's cut that out. Introduce yourself. Tell me about
Right.
you. Tell me what you're looking
Right.
for. And you know, I said, because a lot of guys, they'll just, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're gorgeous. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, what's your name? You know, where you from? Who are you? Tell me about yourself. But he came back about, I think, a couple weeks later, and he said, "Thank you so much for explaining that to me." He said, "Now I'm approaching women different, and now I'm getting people's attention. Now I'm going out on dates." So it just changed the game, you know, for him to hear what, you know, women appreciate now. And a lot of times guys don't think about that, or they're just straight up slime looking for, you know, some booty.
Right. Right.
I'm understand that's like probably 95% of men on dating sites.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on this from what I've seen.
Yeah, and then you know now.
Listen to me. It's not just the men. I'm telling you. If I showed you my inbox, you wouldn't believe.
Right. Oh no, I already know where you're coming from, because the first message, just like Mom was saying, the first message I would get is, "Oh, you're handsome," and I'm like, "Thank you. I already know what you want."
I know, yeah.
That's my child.
What you want?
Just like you.
I already know where you're going for it. I already know where you're going for it, and then they hop right into it. I'm like, nope.
They do it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
It's like I've gotten that before, and I'm just like, all right, well, I'm moving on. Because I'm like, I ain't trying to hear it right now. That's not.
I don't know. Can you guys see the comments on your screens?
Yeah, I just heard. I see them. I just see on
man.
No,
but I don't mean to cut this short for me, but I got to make a run.
No,
okay. Yeah.
It's almost. I'm sorry about that. It's almost been like 45 minutes. I gotta be somewhere real quick.
No,
thank you for allowing me to be on.
Absolutely. And we got to talk, because we got to do this again. This was good. And I'll be a little more organized. I've had so much going on that I've been taking care of, so I haven't written notes, but
I'm trying to get stuff together as well. So I appreciate you. Nice talking to you, JoJo.
Nice talking to you.
Until next time, you know. All right, guys.
All right. Be blessed. Thank you.
You too.
All right. Talk to you soon. Yep. So.
Anything else you want to talk about? Are you good?
Well, just for the audience, just make sure that you are practicing self-love, because self-love, it really does pave a smoother path for every corner, every area of your life. A lot of times people don't want to take time out to be by themselves. They want to just be out there dating or whatever, you know, if you're single. Even if you're in a relationship, you do need to take a day to go off by yourself. I keep saying, for my last birthday, I took myself away for the weekend by myself, took myself to the beach, shopping, went to the restaurant, ordered the most expensive things on the menu, showered myself with gifts. I had to pour self-love onto myself in order to feel whole again, because I was feeling all kind of crazy and cloudy. Jordan, you remember when we went to the farmer's market, and the lady that came up to me and she said, "What are you holding on to me?" And we cried. You know, I was going through so much. I was so heavy, and me taking that time out to kind of self-reflect, to just be in silence, just be in nature, dig my feet in the toes, let the beach water just, you know, go back and forth over my feet, and taking time in meditation, and then just showering myself, just pouring love onto me. That helped me to come together. That helped me to be a little more solid, a little more firm, you know. And once you love yourself, you respect yourself enough to be a better employee, to be a better mother, to be a better friend, a wife, a husband, a boyfriend, a father. You know, just every corner, every area of your life is going to be so much better. Like, I really didn't take much care of, like, my vehicle. I I got to change vehicle at least every 3 years. I'm running a little late on this one, but I'm a little spoiled, but I would get cars and I wouldn't take them to the wash. Now, I don't let more than 2 weeks go by before I go to the car wash. I make sure I take care of the things that I have. I'm not a materialistic person, but when you love yourself, you're going to take care of yourself. You're going to take care of people, and you're going to take care of your things. And people are going to look at you and see you in a whole new light. I remember one time, I was going to go see one of my friends, and I stopped at the store, and a guy was trying to talk to me, and then he turned and he saw my car, and my car was filthy, and he said, "Oh," and I thought of my grandfather. My grandfather, if he didn't do nothing, he back his car out the driveway, wash it, put it right on back in the garage, and put it right on back in. He took care of his cars. You never saw a speck on my grandpa's car. So when you love yourself, it just spills out on everything and on everybody around you. I've been out before that birthday weekend. I went to this mall on the way home. I wanted to hit a spiritual store. This little girl was sitting outside the store crying. And I was like, mind your business, but I couldn't. I had to go over to her, and I'm a minister, so I introduced myself as a minister. I said, you know what? I'm a minister. I could feel that you're going through something. I sat down next to her and talked to her, and just helped her to, kind of get herself together, offered to call her parents if she needed me to. She was fighting with her little boyfriend. He took her phone. I wanted to smack that little kid, but I just told her, you know what, let your parents know what's going on. The little boy took her little debit card and was buying his little brother stuff with her debit card. They were teenagers, but I just couldn't see this little girl over here crying out in public, So I don't know. I just feel like when you practice self-love, you what's the word? You kind of just spew love. Love just pours out of you in all ways, towards your loved ones, towards strangers, all that. People see it, people know it when you love yourself and when you don't. I could look at a person and know that they have no love or respect for themselves. I'm rambling. Okay. So, but yeah, self-love, people, self-love.
Yeah, please do self-love yourself, because, like Mom said, when you love yourself so much, you do tend to change. And I had an experience of that this year with just working at Walmart. That's where I was, And I started realizing my self-worth and what I could do. And I was like, I didn't care if I got fired. I left. And now I got a better job that pays me less, but then pays me more at the same time. At Walmart, I was seeing $800 checks at a pay period. Now I see over $1,300 on the paycheck. And if I go up even higher in this position, I might make even 2 G's every pay period. So
and before you accepted this job, you had other companies that wanted you.
Mm-hmm. I had people fighting for me. So I knew my self-worth. And because I knew my self-worth, people saw that. People saw I was ready to work. I was determined to move on. And there you go. So, don't hold yourself back from anything, whether it be a woman, a man, or even a job. If you ain't happy with something, address that with yourself, and take the next step to move on. Once you do that, who and what can stop you?
Right. Know your self-worth. And two, if you made promises to yourself, don't break promises to yourself. I've mentioned it in one of my other videos. Like, people do their New Year's resolution. Ooh, I'm gonna hit the gym, and the gyms are just packed and full of people who are, on their New Year's resolution. February is less, March is less, April is hardly anybody there. You have to stick to your commitments to yourself. Just because you're in a new relationship doesn't mean you're gonna stop, eating right because you want to go out to restaurants to impress, your date, or you're gonna stop going to the gym because you're making yourself available. You have to just rearrange your schedule to compromise, not give anything up, not, sacrifice, just compromise. You can sit down with that person and you can work out your schedules. You can make it happen. If you eat healthy, you can let them know, look, I don't want to eat out. We're going to go to the skating rink. We're going to go hiking. We're going to go to the movies. We're going to do these other things instead of going to restaurants and eating, unhealthy foods, or having a drink all the time, just whatever promises you've made to yourself, you can let the person you're dating know, look, this is how I kind of live my lifestyle. So our dates are going to have to be friendly towards it, or, we're going to have to do whatever other things, but make suggestions. Don't expect them to read your mind and just know that, oh, okay, since she eats this way or he eats that way, we have to go to these places, or we just not going to go out to eat or whatever, just sit down. Communication. It comes back to that. Sit down and talk and just, lay everything out and be honest. Be completely honest. Don't be afraid a person's not going to date you because of your eating habits. I'll let people know I'm a dairy-free pescatarian. I don't care what you eat, but I know what I'm putting in my body. So be true to self. Be honest. Communicate. Love yourself, and it'll spill out to others. And don't be scary. Don't be creepy. Those are a lot of the subjects we touched on. So I don't know. I'm starting to ramble. So I guess we can wrap this up. But thank you, son, my firstborn. I appreciated it. And again, a thank you to Nekoveli. It was nice having 40s, 30s, and 20s on here to kind of talk about, our own experiences and opinions on dating, relationships, single. We touched on some family stuff and all that. So I appreciate the viewers that are watching and that have popped in and popped out and watching the replay, all that. So I appreciate all of you. And I just want to say love, light, and many, many blessings to all. Thank you, son. I love you.
Thank you for having me on the show. So,
and I love you, Mom.
I love you too. Why you gotta punish me like that?
Boy, I brought you in this world. Don't make me come in there and take you out.
Hey, you have all right. All right, so.
All right. Signing off. Love, light, and blessings to all. Many thanks. And I haven't figured out my schedule for next week because I will be taking my son back to karate classes, and it's football season. So I don't know. I might have to pre-record and then do the show. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know. I'm sorry. I've had so much going on, getting licenses and insurance and all this for my business. So I've been a busy bumblebee, but I will get it together and inform everybody of new times, or if it's just going to be previously recorded instead of live. So, all right. Thank you all. Love you all. You're welcome, Erica. Thank you so much for popping in and watching and taking part. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to let your mom know because she's always, I tell my girls to watch. So I'll let her know if you haven't already. But thank you so much. I hope to meet you one day. I got to meet you one day. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. Love, light, blessings. Catch you all on the flip side.